like to call this meeting to order. We first need to move to excuse absent commissioners for this meeting. Item 1. I'm sorry. First need to move to excuse absent commissioners.
I move to excuse Commissioner Bremer and Commissioner Geithner.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to excuse absent commissioners. I will take the roll. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Werf?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That passes 3-0 to excuse the commissioners. Now, item 1.
Item number 1 is election of a chair pro tem for the May 23rd, 2024 BOCC Land Use Meeting. Kenneth Hodges, County Attorney.
And this is Commissioner Stan Van Werf. Unless there's some advice here, I'd like to make a motion to elect Commissioner Lajinos Gonzalez as our chair pro tem for the May 23, 2024 BOCC Land Use Meeting.
And I will second that. I just do have a few comments, you know. If you give this man a sandwich with vegetables, he will ask you to remove all of them before he eats it. I also wanted to say, though, more than anything, if someone comes in and wants to build a bridge with taxpayer dollars and they happen to be a private community member, you better just make sure it's the concrete and not the fancy artwork. And, right? And if you want a whole entire quarter of taxpayer dollars, you're only going to get 3 cents of it when it comes to Commissioner Gonzalez. And finally, if you ever wonder what happens to our specific ownership tax in El Paso County, ask Commissioner Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for the chair pro tem. So I will take the roll. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Werf?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That passes 3-0. Item number 2, we usually begin, but we had a few administrative things there. But for item 2, we're going to do an invocation, and today will be led by Susan Gillespie from USA Watch Intercessor. And if you'd like to please stand and join us. Thank you. And for item 3, would Commissioner Williams please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Now item 4.
Item number 4 is staff emergency items, and I'm unaware of any staff emergency items today.
Thank you. Item 5.
Item number 5 is changes, postponements, and notice of the next meeting. I'm unaware of any changes or postponements to today's agenda, and the next meeting will be Tuesday, June 4th at 9:00 a.m.
Thank you. Item 6.
Item number 6 is public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. This is the public's opportunity to speak on an item that is not scheduled on today's agenda. And Mr. Chair Pro Tem, I didn't have anyone sign in ahead of time.
Okay, do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak on anything not on today's agenda? Seeing none, asking up anybody online? Seeing no as well. So we will now move to item 7.
Item number 7 is the land use consent calendar, including items 7A and 7B.
All right, so do we have anybody from the public who would have any questions or comments regarding the consent calendar? Seeing none, we'll bring it up to the dais for any comments or a motion.
Mr. Chair Pro Tem, I'd like to move approval of the consent calendar.
And I will second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. I'll take the roll. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf,
Aye.
and the Chair Pro Tem votes aye. That passes 3-0 with Commissioners Bremer and Geithner excused. Item 8.
Item number 8 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
Item 9.
Item number 9 is a subdivision exemption, Peyton Fire Station, a request by Fairfield and Woods for a subdivision exemption specific to 2.5 acres to be utilized as an unmanned fire station for the Peyton Fire Protection District. The property is zoned RR5, residential rural, and is located 1/2 mile east of the intersection of Bradshaw Road and Sweet Road. Parcel number 31000000255, Commissioner District Number 2, File EX234, Kylie Bagley, Planner 3, Planning and Community Development.
I think we have a staff update.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just give me a minute, I'll get this going. So the application in front of you is titled EX234 for the Peyton Fire Station. It is a request for a subdivision exemption. I am Kylie Bagley, I'm the planner on this project, and then Hal Vo was the engineer. If anyone has any public input and is watching remotely, please email a name and a reliable phone number to pcdhearings@elpasoco.com. Subdivision exemptions are not required to go to the Planning Commission, so I just wanted to let you know that. In front of you is the criteria of approval. It is coming in front of your commission to request that the subdivision is exempt from the subdivision standards within the Land Development Code. So the request in front of you is for a subdivision exemption specific to 2.5 acres to be utilized as an unmanned fire station for the Peyton Fire Protection District. The Peyton Fire Protection District will utilize this piece of property for a tank for water holding, and then they will also have a pole barn on the site, which will have a fire truck in it. So this map just shows where the site is. So it's just southeast of the Bradley Sweet Road intersection in Peyton. The property is zoned RR5. Again, we're just requesting for 2.5 acres to be used for this tract. So the subdivision exemption does state that subdivision exemptions do not need to comply with the standards of the Land Development Code for lots that are going to be used as community facilities. So the fire station does not need to meet the minimum zoning district size within the RR5 zoning district, excuse me. Just again, this is the criteria of approval. The applicant is Fairfield and Woods. Jack Rutzel is here to present on this application. If you have any questions for me at this time, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from the dais at this point? No, and you said somebody will come down and...
Yes, I'd like to invite Jack down to go over his presentation.
Thank you. Please come down, state your name, and then you can begin.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Jack Reutzel, 1801 California Street, Denver, Colorado, 80202. I am the counsel for the Peyton Fire Protection District, and happy to be here to talk about this addition, hopeful to our district. I learned in law school and 25 years of this kind of experience that when there are no questions from the commissioners, I should be fairly brief. So I'm going to try to be brief, but happy to answer any specific questions. So let me see if I can get this going. Okay, you've seen this. This is the subdivision exemption. It's 2.5 acres. We are grateful for a donation of this property by the Cullers Bennett Partnership, a longtime family out there, and so it's a wonderful opportunity for us to grab a second site for a station, especially in this general area where growth is occurring. And in order for us to keep our ISO rating up, we need to be closer presence, especially in this north part of our service area. A little bit about Peyton Fire Protection District. The service area is 110 square miles. We serve more or less 1,400 dwelling units. We have a volunteer fire department of 17, and our current mill levy is 6.130. So, as the development around us grows, that the need for a second station becomes obvious. So I appreciate the staff report. I would enter that into the record if it hasn't already been done so. It addresses all of the criteria, and it finds that the proposal is consistent with the master plan and the code. This kind of division is not contemplated by the statute. We've demonstrated legal and physical access. Our location and availability of service is reasonable. And there really would be no beneficial purpose given for having to go through the overall planning of the property. We have other approvals coming through. We have a location and extent application that will be heard by the Planning Commission on June 6th. Location and extent is a process. I'm sure you remember that as a sort of an effort between the district and the county to locate a facility, and it talks about where the building envelope might go, where the cisterns are going to go. It's going to be a 30,000-gallon cistern. It'll be buried beneath the ground. The plan then would be to take this approval, move toward funding of the fire station, the pole barn and the cistern, and that's in the works by the district. But we want to take it one step at a time. Based on the evidence presented here this morning and the adoption and the staff report, we request your approval of the subdivision for case EX-234. I'm available to answer any specific questions. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions for council from the dais? Commissioner Williams.
Okay, so it's on Sweet Road. Is there a road going south from there too?
There is. It's just off the picture. It's another. Kylie, do you remember?
That's okay, as long as there's a road going south. I wanted to make sure.
There is an east-west road on Sweet, and then there's a north-south just to the east of the property. I don't remember the name. Sorry.
That's fine. Thank you.
Commissioner Van der Werf.
Yes, thank you. I don't think this is a question I have. It doesn't apply to whether we approve or disapprove this today, but just kind of curious why a cistern, why below ground instead of an above ground tank? Was there a rationale for that, or?
No, it's merely a aesthetic issue. When we deal with developers, they seem to like the cistern buried, and I think it helped protect the structure a little bit more when it's underground.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more information from staff? No, I've seen none. I guess we will now open it up to public comment, public debate. Is there anybody here in support of this action? Anyone online in support of this action? Seeing none. Anybody in opposition to this in the public here present here in the auditorium? Seeing none. Anyone online? Seeing none. Thank you. So we will now close the public comment portion of this meeting and bring it back up to the dais. Any comments, questions, or a motion?
Well, obviously, with summer coming and the dry weather, we're always worried about fires, and certainly out in this area, we love the fact we have a volunteer fire department, but making sure that we have the water and the ability to protect our homes out there from any chances of fire, and to also protect our citizens is very, very important. And so I am definitely in support of this application, and I'm willing to move approval.
Okay, do we have a second?
All right, and I'll make a couple of comments and then offer the second. So I agree. We need to always be working on doing what we can to address fire risks throughout our communities. Of course, being the commissioner on the west side, that's usually a forest fire issue for me. But it's also important to have these capabilities out east to protect our citizens that live in our eastern communities, to protect them from structural fires, prairie fires, and those kinds of things. So I will make a motion to second the motion. Or not make a motion, but I will second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a motion and a second to approve. I'll now take the roll. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf?
Aye.
And the chair pro tem votes aye. That passes 3-0 with Commissioners Bremer and Geithner excused. Item 10.
Item number 10 is department and committee reports, non-action items, and there are none.
Item 11.
Item 11 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today. Item
12, sorry.
Item 12 is the executive session, and there is no request for executive session.
Thank you, and we are adjourned.